Welcome to English Every Day. Improve your English skills one day at a time. Whether you're just starting or looking to refine your fluency, we're here to guide you with practical tips, engaging conversations, and fun lessons. Let's make English a part of your everyday life. Ready to learn? Let's get started.
All right, so we love to take deep dives into resources you send our way.
Yeah.
And you guys have been sending in this website called the Oxford Language Club.
Yeah, it seems like a really interesting resource.
I was looking through it. I have to say, I'm pretty impressed with some of these testimonials.
Yeah, me too.
People talking about landing their dream jobs or traveling the world with confidence, all thanks to improving their English skills.
Yeah, and one thing I really appreciate is how they emphasize making English a part of your everyday life.
Okay, yeah.
It's not just about hitting the books, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's more about integrating it into your daily routine.
I see.
They actually lay out these 6 specific habits that they encourage people to adopt.
Oh, okay. I'm intrigued. Lay them on me.
All right, so habit number 1 is reading.
Reading, okay.
But they're not saying you need to go out and, tackle War and Peace right away.
Right.
They suggest starting with stuff you already enjoy. So maybe blogs about your hobbies or articles about current events, just anything to kind of get you in the habit of reading consistently in English.
Right.
And then as you get more comfortable, you can gradually increase the difficulty.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
I know.
I remember when I was learning Spanish,
Yeah.
I tried reading Don Quixote way too early, and let's just say it didn't go well.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But then I started reading articles about Spanish football.
Oh, cool.
And that was actually really fun, and I learned a ton.
Yeah.
So it's all about finding that sweet spot. Right?
Exactly. It's about finding that balance,
Yeah.
where you're challenged but not totally overwhelmed.
Right.
And, think about it. Every time you read in English, you're exposed to new vocabulary, grammar structures, idioms.
Yeah.
It's like passive learning. But it really does work over time.
Okay, I'm sold on reading, so what's habit number 2?
All right, so next up we have listening.
Listening. Well, we're doing that right now.
Exactly. And there are so many other ways you can make listening a part of your daily routine. Like podcasts, music, audiobooks, even watching TV shows and movies in English.
You know what I've been meaning to check out? That new British crime drama that everyone's been raving about?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe this is the perfect excuse to finally watch it.
There you go.
Oh!
And don't underestimate the power of subtitles.
Oh, subtitles, yes.
Especially, when you're first starting out. They can be a game changer for picking up on pronunciation and getting used to different accents.
Okay. Reading, listening.
Yeah.
Got it. What's next?
All right, so this one might be a little more challenging for some people.
Okay, bring it on.
It's speaking.
Speaking. Okay.
Yeah, they really encourage you to find opportunities to actually use your English out loud.
Right.
Even if it feels a little scary at first.
Right. I can see how that would be intimidating for some people.
Yeah, definitely. But they suggest things like, joining online language exchange groups or finding a conversation partner or even just talking to yourself in English.
Wait, talking to myself?
Nah.
I already do that. Does that mean I'm ahead of the game?
Well, hey, it certainly can't hurt.
Okay.
The key is to get comfortable with vocalizing your thoughts in English, even if you make mistakes.
Right.
Remember, every mistake is an opportunity to learn.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I'm all about embracing those awkward moments they usually make for the best stories later on.
Exactly. And, speaking of putting your thoughts into words, the next habit is journaling.
Journaling. Interesting. I haven't done that since I was a teenager.
Yeah. But it can be a great tool for language learning no matter how old you are.
Right.
It's like a low-pressure way to practice writing and to explore your thoughts and ideas in English.
So it's not about writing perfectly grammatically correct sentences or anything like that?
No, not at all.
More about just getting comfortable expressing myself?
Exactly. It's a safe space to experiment with the language. Try out new vocabulary and see what flows.
Okay, I'm starting to see how these habits all fit together.
Yeah.
Reading and listening help you absorb the language.
Right.
And speaking and writing help you actively use it.
Exactly. It's all about finding that balance.
Yeah. What are the last 2 habits?
All right. So habit number 5 is watching movies and TV shows in English.
Oh, I love doing that.
Yeah. And they specifically recommend using subtitles to help you follow along and pick up on new words and phrases.
I do that all the time. Sometimes I'll even rewind and watch a scene a few times. If there's a particular phrase I want to master.
That's a great strategy.
Yeah.
It's about being an active viewer,
Yeah.
and really engaging with the language.
Right. Right.
And then the last habit is using language learning apps.
Ah, yes. There's an app for everything.
Isn't there?
I've definitely dabbled in a few language learning apps over the years.
Yeah, me too.
Some are good, some are not so good. Any tips on how to choose a good one?
Oh, they recommend finding an app that aligns with your learning style and your goals. Some apps focus more on vocabulary, others on grammar, others on pronunciation.
Right.
The best approach is really to try out a few different ones
Okay.
and see what clicks for you.
That's a good reminder. It's easy to get overwhelmed by all the options out there.
Oh, for sure.
So we've got our 6 habits.
Yeah.
Reading, listening, speaking, writing, watching, and using apps.
Mm-hmm.
They all seem pretty doable on their own.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing the real challenge is making them a consistent part of your life.
You hit the nail on the head. They are really big on consistency.
Okay.
They argue that even if you just dedicate like 15 minutes a day to each habit, it can make a significant impact over time.
15 minutes. Okay, I can definitely find 15 minutes here and there throughout my day.
Yeah.
But how do they suggest, making those habits stick?
Well, they have some interesting advice on that.
Okay.
One thing they suggest is to set realistic goals
Okay.
and to celebrate those small wins along the way.
Realistic goals. Check. What about celebrating small wins?
Yeah, like what kind of things should I be celebrating?
Exactly.
Well, it could be anything from, like reading a whole article in English without having to look up any words to successfully ordering a coffee in English at your favorite cafe.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's about noticing your progress and giving yourself credit for the effort you're putting in.
Exactly. And another thing they suggest is finding a language buddy.
Oh, a language buddy.
Or joining a community of learners.
Yeah.
Having that support system can make a huge difference in terms of motivation and accountability.
That's such a good idea. I've always found that having someone to share my struggles and triumphs with makes the learning process so much more enjoyable.
It's like having a cheerleader in your corner.
Yeah.
Rooting for you every step of the way.
So these 6 habits, combined with consistent effort and a supportive community, those are the keys to unlocking fluency.
That seems to be their philosophy, and they back it up with some pretty impressive statistics.
Okay, like what?
Did you know that they have over 130,000 registered students
Wow, that's a lot of people.
from all over the world?
That's amazing. And I bet they all have their own unique stories.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And reasons for wanting to learn English.
Yeah, the website actually features a bunch of really heartwarming testimonials.
Oh, I love a good success story.
Yeah.
Can you share one that stood out to you?
Yeah, there's one from this woman, Maria C. from Argentina.
Okay.
And she said that the website helps her, keep her English skills updated
Okay.
for both work and travel.
Gotcha.
And she mentioned how much she was enjoying the lessons.
That's great. It sounds like she's found a way to seamlessly integrate English into her life.
Yeah, and that's exactly what the Oxford Language Club emphasizes.
Yeah.
Making English a natural part of your daily routine rather than a chore.
Okay. I'm liking what I'm hearing so far.
Yeah.
But before we get too carried away,
Yeah.
let's step back and look at the bigger picture.
Okay.
Why is learning English such a big deal anyway?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
The website talks about all the benefits that come with mastering English.
Mm-hmm.
They say it can open doors to better job opportunities,
Okay.
make travel more enjoyable,
Yeah.
and even broaden your social circle.
I mean, I've definitely experienced those benefits firsthand.
Yeah.
My English skills have allowed me to connect with people from all over the world, both personally and professionally.
It's like unlocking a whole new world of possibilities.
It really is.
Yeah.
So we've covered the 6 habits,
Mm-hmm.
the importance of consistency, the power of community, and the broader benefits of learning English.
Yeah.
Is there anything else about the Oxford Language Club's approach that stands out to you?
One thing that caught my eye was they mentioned this free English placement test.
Oh, tell me more about that.
Yeah, it seems like it's a way for you to assess your current level
Okay.
and identify areas where you might need extra support.
That makes sense. It's like having a roadmap for your language learning journey.
Exactly. It helps you set realistic goals and track your progress.
I'm always a fan of having a clear starting point
Mm-hmm.
and a way to measure my progress. It keeps me motivated and focused.
Yeah, it's like having a personal language trainer in your pocket.
Speaking of guidance, I'm curious to know more about this online learning method, they call it.
Oh, yeah?
The science of ONIT. What exactly does that mean?
I'm glad you brought that up. That's one of the most interesting parts of their approach.
Okay.
They say their method is based on the latest research in language acquisition,
Okay.
and it's designed to optimize something called brain plasticity.
Brain plasticity. Now, there's a term I haven't heard in a while.
Yeah, it's basically the brain's ability to change and adapt throughout our lives.
So they're saying their method can actually like rewire our brains to make language learning easier?
Well, they don't make any outlandish claims or anything.
Okay.
But they do emphasize that their method leverages the brain's natural learning processes to make language acquisition more efficient and effective.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Can you break down how their method works in practice?
Sure, so they incorporate things like spaced repetition, active recall,
Oh,
and personalized feedback,
gotcha.
all of which have been shown to be effective for language learning.
Okay, so they're not just throwing random tips and tricks at you.
Yeah.
They're grounding their approach in scientific evidence.
Exactly.
That's reassuring.
Yeah, and it's clear they've put a lot of thought into creating a structured and engaging online learning experience.
I'm really starting to see how the Oxford Language Club stands out from the crowd.
Yeah.
They seem to be combining these practical habits with cutting-edge research and a genuine commitment to helping people achieve their language goals.
That's a compelling combination.
It really is. I'm excited to dig deeper into their online platform
Yeah.
and see what else they have to offer.
Me too. I think you'll be impressed.
Yeah.
Yeah, they actually have a whole section of the website
Okay.
where they explain their methodology in detail.
Oh, cool.
They even have a page called Behind the Program, I think,
Uh-huh.
and they break down their curriculum and teaching philosophy.
That's a level of transparency you don't always see
Right.
with online learning platforms.
Yeah, for sure.
I appreciate that they're willing to pull back the curtain
Yeah,
and show you exactly what you're getting.
exactly. And they also have a really thorough FAQ section.
Oh, okay.
They address a lot of the common concerns that people might have,
Like what kind of stuff?
like technical requirements, pricing, course structure, certification, that kind of thing.
Speaking of a course structure, I noticed they offer a range of courses
They do.
for different levels and goals.
Yeah, they have like specialized programs for business English, exam preparation, all sorts of stuff.
So they're catering to a diverse audience.
Yeah, it seems like whether you're a complete beginner
Right.
or you're looking to refine your skills for a specific purpose, they've got something for you.
And the fact that it's all online
Yeah,
means you can learn anytime, anywhere at your own pace.
exactly. Flexibility is key.
It is these days.
Yeah, and their platform is designed to be super user-friendly.
Okay, good.
They emphasize interactive exercises, personalized feedback, even the option to connect with other learners.
Ooh, a language learning community.
Yeah, exactly.
Love that idea.
It's always more fun to learn with other people.
It is. You can kind of keep each other motivated.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can share tips and tricks and stuff.
For sure, for sure.
And, they don't just leave you hanging once you finish the course.
Oh, good. What do they do?
They offer guidance on how to earn a certificate,
Oh, a certificate. Okay.
which could be really valuable,
Yeah, for your resume or your LinkedIn profile or...
Exactly. It's like tangible proof of your accomplishments.
Right. So it's not just about acquiring the knowledge.
No.
It's about having something to show for it.
Exactly. That can really boost your confidence, too.
For a website that's so focused on, like, the practicalities of language learning,
Yeah.
they also seem to have a real appreciation for the deeper value of connecting with other cultures.
I noticed that, too.
Yeah.
They have a whole section about exploring English-speaking cultures around the world.
That's so important.
It is language and culture are so intertwined.
They are.
You can't really separate them.
Right. It's not just about memorizing vocabulary and grammar rules.
Right.
It's about understanding, like, different ways of life.
Yeah, different perspectives on the world.
Exactly.
So thinking about your own language learning journey, what aspects of English-speaking cultures have you found most fascinating?
Oh, that's a great question.
Yeah.
I think one of the most fascinating things for me has been the sheer diversity
Oh, yeah.
of English-speaking cultures around the world.
Right. You've got everything from Australia to the UK to Canada to the US.
Exactly, and India and South Africa and, like, so many other places.
It's amazing how one language can connect so many different people and places.
It really is, and I think that diversity is also what makes it so challenging sometimes.
Oh, yeah. How so?
Well, there are so many regional dialects, accents, slang expressions.
Right. It can be overwhelming.
It can feel like you're learning a new language
Yeah.
every time you travel to a different English-speaking country.
That's true. But I think it's also part of what makes it so rewarding.
Okay. Yeah.
Every time you encounter a new dialect or accent, it's an opportunity to stretch your skills
Yeah, I can see that.
and deepen your understanding of the culture.
Okay, yeah, I'm with you. But I have to admit there are times when I feel overwhelmed by the sheer vastness of the English language.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
There's so many words, idioms, grammatical nuances to master.
I think that's a common feeling among language learners.
Yeah.
But it's important to remember, you don't need to know everything to be fluent.
Right.
The goal is to be able to communicate effectively and confidently.
Right. Not to be perfect.
Exactly. And the Oxford Language Club seems to understand that
Okay.
their approach is really about developing those practical communication skills that you can actually use in real-world situations.
So less about rote memorization.
Yeah.
More about being able to hold a conversation. Exactly.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's about bridging that gap between textbook knowledge
Right.
and real-life fluency.
So we've talked about the importance of embracing cultural diversity, the challenges and rewards of mastering different accents and dialects,
Yeah.
and the need to focus on practical communication skills.
Right.
What other insights can we glean from the Oxford Language Club's approach?
You know, one thing that struck me was their emphasis on mindset.
Mindset, okay.
Yeah, they talk about the need to cultivate a growth mindset,
Right.
to embrace challenges as opportunities for learning, and to celebrate even the smallest of victories.
That's so true. I found that my attitude plays a huge role in my language learning success.
Absolutely.
When I'm feeling positive and motivated, I'm more likely to stick with it,
Yeah.
even when things get tough.
It's all about perspective, right?
It is.
You know, instead of seeing those moments of frustration as setbacks, you can reframe them as stepping stones on your path to fluency. I like that. Instead of beating myself up over mistakes, I need to see them as valuable learning experiences.
Exactly. And the Oxford Language Club provides that supportive environment for you to do just that.
Oh, good.
They encourage you to take risks, experiment with the language, view mistakes as opportunities for growth.
It sounds like they're fostering a real sense of community
Yeah.
and encouragement among their learners.
They are, and that's one of the things that I think sets them apart from other platforms.
Okay.
You know, they're not just providing tools and resources.
Right.
They're creating a space where you can connect with other learners,
Yeah.
share your experiences, support each other on your language learning journey.
I love that it's like having this global network of language enthusiasts cheering you on.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
It really speaks to the power of language
Yeah.
to connect people from all walks of life.
You know, we've been talking a lot about the Oxford Language Club's approach to teaching English.
Yeah.
But I'm curious to hear your thoughts on online language learning in general.
Oh, okay.
What are some of the advantages and disadvantages you see?
Well, I think one of the biggest advantages is accessibility.
Accessibility.
Yeah, you can learn from anywhere in the world as long as you have an internet connection.
Right. That's definitely a game changer.
Yeah, especially for people who live in remote areas
Mm-hmm.
or who don't have access to traditional language classes.
Okay. And online learning platforms often offer a wider range of courses and programs.
They do. You can find courses in pretty much any language you can imagine.
Yeah, that's true. I've seen platforms that offer everything from ancient Greek to Klingon.
Wow, Klingon, that's impressive.
I know, right?
And another big advantage is flexibility.
Flexibility, yeah.
You can study at your own pace on your own schedule, you know?
Right. No need to commute to a classroom.
Exactly. It's all about fitting language learning into your life,
Mm-hmm.
not the other way around.
But of course, online learning also has its disadvantages, right?
Yeah, for sure. I think one of the biggest challenges can be staying motivated
Okay.
and accountable when you're not in a traditional classroom setting.
Yeah, it's easy to get distracted at home.
Yeah, or to procrastinate or to just let other things take priority.
Right. You don't have that like external pressure
Exactly.
of a teacher or classmates.
Right. And another potential downside is the lack of face-to-face interaction
Okay.
with a teacher and other students. You know, some people really thrive
Yeah.
in that kind of social learning environment.
I can see that, but I think online platforms are getting better
They are.
at replicating that sense of community.
Right. They're using things like discussion forums, online study groups.
Yeah, even virtual classrooms.
Exactly. So you can still get that sense of connection.
Okay, so it sounds like the key to successful online language learning
Yeah.
is finding a platform that offers a good balance of structure, support, and flexibility.
I think that's a great assessment. And it's also important to be honest with yourself about your learning style,
Okay.
you know, and to choose a platform that aligns with your needs and preferences.
That's excellent advice. It's so easy to get caught up in the hype. surrounding a particular platform or method.
Right.
But ultimately, the best approach is the one that works best for you.
Exactly. There's no one-size-fits-all solution when it comes to language learning.
I completely agree. So we've explored the advantages and disadvantages of online language learning.
We have.
And we've talked about the importance of finding a platform that aligns with your learning style and goals.
Right.
What other insights can we offer our listeners about how to make the most of their online language learning experience?
One piece of advice I always give to language learners is to set realistic goals and expectations.
Okay.
It's important to remember that language learning is a journey, not a destination.
That's such an important point. I think a lot of people get discouraged when they don't see results immediately.
Right. It's easy to fall into that trap of thinking that you need to be fluent overnight.
Right.
But language learning takes time, effort, and consistency.
It does. It really does.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Exactly. It's about celebrating those small wins along the way.
Yeah.
And recognizing that every step forward, no matter how small, is a step in the right direction.
Absolutely. And it's important to be patient with yourself.
Oh, yeah. Patience is key.
Yeah. There will be days when you feel like you're making great progress.
Mm-hmm.
And there will be days when you feel like you're not getting anywhere.
Oh, yeah. I've definitely had my fair share of both.
We all have.
Mm-hmm.
But the key is to just keep going, even when it feels challenging.
You got to stick with it.
You do. And the Oxford Language Club seems to understand that.
Okay.
They offer a lot of encouragement and support to help learners stay motivated and on track.
I'm really impressed by their holistic approach to language learning. They're not just focused on teaching grammar and vocabulary. They're also addressing the emotional and psychological aspects of the learning process.
They're recognizing that language learning is as much about mindset as it is about methodology.
I love that.
It's about fostering a love of language and a belief in your own ability to learn and grow.
That's beautiful.
And that's what makes language learning so rewarding.
Yeah.
It's not just about acquiring a new skill.
Right.
It's about expanding your horizons, connecting with new people and cultures, discovering new ways of thinking and being.
It's about embracing the journey.
Yeah.
And all the challenges and triumphs that come with it.
It's about becoming a citizen of the world.
I love that. Now, before we wrap up our deep dive into the Oxford Language Club, I want to circle back to something you mentioned earlier, the Why Online section of their website.
Oh, yeah.
I'm curious to hear more about their rationale for choosing online learning as their primary mode of instruction.
Yeah, they make a really compelling case for the benefits of online language learning.
Okay, yeah. Well, they highlight the convenience and flexibility, of course.
Right.
But they also delve into some of the unique pedagogical advantages.
Ooh, pedagogical advantages. Tell me more.
Okay, so one of the key points they make is that online learning allows for a more personalized learning experience.
Personalized, okay.
Yeah, they argue that traditional classroom settings often force learners to progress at the same pace,
Right.
regardless of their individual needs and abilities.
That's true. I remember feeling frustrated in language classes.
Yeah.
When I felt like I was either being held back or rushed ahead,
Right.
depending on the overall level of the class.
It can be a really frustrating experience.
It can.
But online platforms like the Oxford Language Club allow learners to progress at their own pace and to focus on the areas where they need the most support.
So it's about tailoring the learning experience to the individual learner.
Exactly.
Rather than trying to fit everyone into the same mold.
Right. And another advantage they highlight is the use of interactive exercises.
Oh, yeah.
And multimedia content.
They argue that online platforms can create more engaging and immersive learning experiences than traditional textbooks and lectures.
I can see that.
Yeah, I've used platforms that incorporate things like video games, virtual reality simulations, interactive quizzes.
Yeah, it's a far cry from the dry grammar drills and vocabulary lists that I remember from my school days.
The whole new world of language learning.
It is.
And the Oxford Language Club seems to be right at the forefront of those innovations.
Okay.
They've really put a lot of thought into creating an online environment that's both stimulating and effective.
And speaking of technology, they also talk about the importance of real-time feedback.
Yes, they emphasize that online platforms can provide learners with immediate feedback on their progress.
That's so valuable.
It is, you can identify areas where you need to improve right away.
Right. It's like having a personal tutor by your side.
Exactly. And another advantage they point out is the cost effectiveness of online learning.
Oh, yeah. Cost is definitely a factor for a lot of people.
It is. Online courses are often more affordable than traditional language classes.
Okay. Which makes language learning more accessible.
Exactly. And the Oxford Language Club seems to be particularly committed to affordability.
Oh, good.
They offer different payment plans and discounts
Nice.
to make their courses accessible to as many learners as possible.
I appreciate that.
It really shows that they're genuinely invested in helping people achieve their language goals.
So to summarize, the Oxford Language Club's Why Online section makes a strong case for the benefits of online learning.
It does.
Citing advantages such as personalization, interactivity, real-time feedback, and cost-effectiveness.
And their platform seems to embody those advantages really well.
Yeah, I'm eager to explore their website further and learn more about their specific courses and programs.
I think you'll find a lot to like there.
Now, before we move on to the final part of our deep dive, I want to pause for a moment and reflect on something we've touched on throughout this conversation.
Yeah.
The transformative power of language learning.
Oh, absolutely.
We've talked about the practical benefits, like, improving your job prospects or making travel more enjoyable. But there's so much more to it than that.
You're right. Language learning is about expanding your horizons, challenging your assumptions, connecting with new people and cultures on a deeper level.
It's about becoming a more empathetic and understanding human being.
Beautifully said.
Yeah.
You know, I think Nelson Mandela captured it perfectly.
How so?
He said, if you talk to a man in a language he understands that goes to his head, if you talk to him in his own language that goes to his heart.
Wow. That's powerful.
Yeah, it really speaks to the profound impact that language can have on our relationships and our understanding of the world.
Language is more than just a tool for communication.
It is.
It's a bridge that connects us to other human beings and to the richness of human experience.
And it's a bridge that's always open to those who are willing to take the first step.
Beautifully put. So are you ready to take the next step in our exploration of the Oxford Language Club?
Lead the way. So, we talked about those 6 daily habits earlier.
Yeah.
Well, the Oxford Language Club actually gives you some really concrete advice.
Oh, good.
On how to actually make those habits stick.
Because it's one thing to, have a list of habits.
Right.
But it's another thing to actually, make them a part of your daily routine.
Exactly. It's so easy to start with good intentions and then...
Yeah, you fizzle out.
Yeah.
After a week or two.
Exactly. So they have some good advice.
Okay, what do they say?
One of the most important things they emphasize is setting realistic goals.
Okay, realistic goal.
Yeah. So start small.
Okay.
And gradually increase the difficulty as you get better.
So don't try to read a novel in English on day one.
Exactly.
Start with a blog post or something.
Yeah, or a short news article.
Build up to it. Yeah.
Exactly. It's like training for a marathon.
Okay.
You wouldn't try to run 26 miles on your first day.
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
All right.
Okay, so realistic goals. What else?
Another great tip is to find a language buddy.
A language buddy. Oh, I like that.
Yeah, or join a study group.
Okay.
Having that social support can really make a difference.
It does, because then you feel accountable to someone.
Exactly.
And it's just more fun to have someone to share the journey with.
It is. It's like having a cheerleader in your corner.
Yeah, rooting you on.
Exactly. And they also talk about the importance of making language learning fun.
Okay, fun.
Yeah.
It shouldn't feel like a chore.
Right, exactly.
It should be something that you enjoy doing.
And they have some specific suggestions.
Like what?
Well, they recommend things like watching movies and TV shows in English.
Okay.
Listening to music and podcasts.
Yeah.
Playing language learning games.
Oh, there are games.
There are tons of them.
Oh.
And, even attending cultural events in your local community.
Oh, yeah, like if there's a concert or a play or something.
Yeah.
Okay. I like all of those suggestions.
It's all about finding ways to immerse yourself in the language.
Yeah.
In a way that feels natural and enjoyable.
So it's not about forcing yourself to do things you hate.
Right.
It's about finding ways to make language learning a part of your life.
Exactly.
In a way that feels authentic.
Yeah, and enjoyable.
I'm really liking the Oxford Language Club's approach.
Me too. It's very practical and accessible.
It is. It is.
And, it's about shifting your perspective.
Okay.
From seeing language learning as this chore to seeing it as an opportunity for personal growth and enrichment.
I love that. And I think that's a good place to wrap up our deep dive.
Yeah, I think so too.
Into the Oxford Language Club.
We've covered a lot of ground.
We have. We've talked about their 6 daily habits.
Right.
The importance of consistency, the power of community, the benefits of online learning.
And their unique approach to language acquisition.
Exactly. And I think it's safe to say that we've both learned a lot.
I've definitely learned a lot.
Me too. And I'm really impressed by their commitment to combining practical tips with cutting-edge research.
Yeah, and they clearly have a real passion
They do.
for helping people achieve their language goals.
I think they've created a platform that's both effective and engaging.
I agree, and very accessible.
Yes, very user-friendly.
Yeah.
I especially appreciate their emphasis on making language learning fun.
Me too.
It shouldn't feel like a chore. It should be something that you enjoy.
Exactly. It should be a joyful journey of discovery.
So if you're feeling inspired to take your English skills to the next level, I encourage you to check out the Oxford Language Club website.
Definitely see what they have to offer.
You might be surprised by what you discover.
And remember, the most important step is the first one.
That's true.
Don't be afraid to dive in and start exploring the world of English language learning.
Well said. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
Into the Oxford Language Club, we hope you feel inspired to embark on your own English language adventure.
Until next time.
Happy learning!
Thank you for tuning in to English Every Day. Keep practicing, stay consistent, and remember, every small step brings you closer to fluency. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your progress in the comments below. Let's continue this journey together. See you in the next episode.